You know, the pressure on the Washington Redskins owner to change his team's name got a whole lot more intense today because the U.S. Patent Office stripped the team of its trademark protection. Why, you ask? Because it says the team's trademarks are, quote, disparaging of Native Americans. Now, the Redskins say they will appeal this decision. They can also continue to use the logos. There is kind of a caveat to that. We're going to get into that. And they retain trademark protection throughout this appeal. But today, this is seen as a victory for the 5 Native Americans who sued. A representative for them says they are, quote, extraordinarily gratified to have prevailed in this case. So let me bring in 2 voices, former federal prosecutor Fred Teesey and Cindy Boren, sports reporter for the Washington Post. Welcome to both of you. And Cindy, let's start with you because I was reading this verbate from, I mean, this made it to Capitol Hill today. Harry Reid said this on the floor of the Senate today. Dan Snyder, owner of the Redskins, may be the last person in the world to realize this, but it's a matter of time until he's forced to do the right thing and change the name. Do you think this is the beginning of the end of the Redskins?
Well, I think that it might be. It might be the tipping point. You know, I've thought all along that it would take a major economic push to get the Redskins and the NFL to begin to entertain the notion of changing the nickname. Well, we've now had kind of 3 significant events in the span of about a month, in that you had the 50 senators writing 2 letters to the NFL, and Harry Reid was involved in that. You also had an ad that aired during the NBA playoffs in 7 markets. It was a very effective and powerful ad, which was actually really, really sleekly polished. And now you've got this. So I am kind of beginning to wonder. I still think it's going to take a lot to change it. And, you know, this has happened before. There were a group of Native Americans 22 years ago who filed a trademark lawsuit, and that basically was the trademark office ruled in the same way that it did today. Mm-hmm. Then the Redskins took it to court, and it was overturned by the court.
Okay, so you say real economics would be that final tipping point. Let me come back to you because the Court of Public Opinion is pretty interesting on this. But Fred, as far as the law goes, I mean, what does this really mean for the trademark? Right. Can the Redskins say to folks who are hawking their gear, you can't sell our logos on our T-shirts, or not necessarily?
They can continue to do that. And you know, unfortunately, if your ultimate goal is to get them to change the name and you think that economic sanctions and economic pressures will bring that to bear, then this isn't really going to help you. Because all a trademark is what the law calls constructive notice. Your trademark rights come from the use of the mark in commerce. And so the Redskins will continue to use this mark, and they will continue to have the right to preclude others. They can't put the little R in a circle on things anymore, and they can't go into federal court, but they can continue to enforce their common law trademark rights. So ultimately, you know, you really want to bring pressure to bear on these guys. It's going to have to be economic pressure in some other form.
That's exactly what Cindy was saying. So the power of the purse, but then you also have the power of the public, Cindy, because the majority of Americans, according to the most recent polls I've seen over the last couple of years, you know, the majority of Americans actually say that they don't think Native American names, i.e. Washington Redskins, should be changed. Could this be a door for the NFL to force a name change?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always a possibility. You know, for every poll that says there are people who favor the name change, there's another poll that says people are against it. It's rather difficult to kind of get a grasp on just exactly where this is overall in public opinion. I know
what about people in D.C.?
I would say that in D.C. the nickname is overwhelmingly popular still.
Interesting.
I mean, among the fans I know and the fans that respond to me on Twitter and on Facebook, the fans that I'm in touch with.
Look,
go ahead, Fred.
I personally think you've got to be cognizant of the fact that some people find this name offensive. But as a lawyer and as someone who's been doing this for 30 years, including when I was a federal prosecutor in a lot of criminal trademark cases, I get a little bit hinky when you start trying to strip people's rights away from them that have been afforded under the law for 150 years. I agree with the people who find this offensive. I think that these people should effectuate a change of their name. But to start stripping people of rights, which are fundamental. I mean, trademarks are a fundamental part of our economic system in this country and are very, very important. I mean, people like Apple and Microsoft and Google find their trademarks very important, and we should not be taking steps to undermine them.
So the hinky factor is there, but let me end with you, Fred. When you both agree that this really could be economics could change this, what specifically do you mean?
Stop buying
well,
tickets,
what I
stop
mean
going
is
to the games, and
merchandise
quite
sales.
frankly,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Fred.
right, exactly. Well, merchandise sales or television. You know, you take away their television revenues, you'll get their attention.
Cindy, you agree?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. It's the most powerful sports enterprise in America. And once people stop buying stuff, Redskins merchandise is still tremendously popular. And once people stop paying money, and once money stops flowing into the NFL coffers, then they'll take notice. I mean, they are, after all, businessmen.
They are? This isn't just about the good of the sport? I kid.
No.
Cindy Morin and Fred Teesey.
Dollars and cents.
Facetiousness. Thank you, both of you. I really appreciate it.